Every great story starts with the rush of thrilling gaming action. Handcrafted flavors, eager to please. Getaways for some well-deserved me time. And rewards worth bragging about. If it's a story worth telling, it starts at La Berge Baton Rouge. What's your story?
Right now, at both locations of Team Honda, the Dream Deal sales event is now even better. For a limited time, get 0% financing on a great selection of certified Hondas. The savings are yours at Team Honda on Segan Lane in Baton Rouge and Team Honda of Acadiana on I-49 just south of Opelousas.
Visit Treads & Care Tire Company's new location on Hooper Road in Central. Locally owned for over 50 years, Treads & Care is known for quality automotive repair and top-notch customer service.
I'd like to invite you to come out and see us at our new location in Central.
No one can stop me when I taste the feeling. Nothing could ever bring me down. Nothing could ever bring me down. Taste the feeling.
Hello and welcome as we start the Thursday edition of the Clarence Bug Show. Here's hoping all is well with you and yours and your little slice of South Louisiana heaven. Since the last opportunity we had to spend some time with you and yours earlier in the week. Here's hoping as well that you and yours came through yesterday's weather event none the worse for wear. Sadly, we now know in our state at least 3 people, including a mother and her 8-year-old child, died because of that weather. Some 21 tornadoes in 24 hours. Obviously, there are parts of our state that faced this destruction that many of us were able to evade. And while I don't know these individuals as a community or as individuals, I think it's fairly safe for me to say that they would certainly appreciate you, our fellow Louisianians, keeping them in both your thoughts and your prayers. It is something that we have become accustomed to in South Louisiana, living in Hurricane Alley. We are all too familiar with the intensity that Mother Nature can unleash at certain times. If the Spirit moves you and your wallet is able to, donate to the causes that will help these individuals recover. As always, I never ask that you give until it hurts. All I ask is that you give. And as an addendum to that, it is a sad commentary, but it is what it is. Do your due diligence, guys, girls, before you donate, to be sure that you are giving your resources to reputable agencies. The only thing worse than having to witness the destruction and the loss of life among our fellow Louisianians is donating to their recovery only to find out later on that that money was misused or not applied at all. In a sidebar to all of this, you know, when you are blessed with common sense and God blesses you with a degree of longevity, you sometimes see things and it's hard to wrap your mind around it. We were told a couple days out from yesterday's weather event what could potentially happen. We were told what all the signs were pointing to. We were told about all of the circumstances involved and what could potentially happen. I found it disturbing and telling all at the same time that yesterday, and I haven't been able to check all around the state to see what it says about us. But yesterday, in the midst of all of this, everybody with a heightened sense of awareness, everybody hunkering down, everybody trying to do everything they can to stay safe, that we still had 2 separate shootings, one of them fatal, in Baton Rouge. I don't know, charge it to the old guy in me, charge it to 42 years of covering storms and things of this nature. But all of my attention was focused on hunkering down and trying to make sure that me and mine are safe. How someone could take time in the midst of all of this to murder someone is just something that's hard for me to wrap my mind around. I mean, conventional wisdom would say, well, they're so busy trying to take care of life, limb, property, loved ones, etc., etc. If ever there's going to be a day where we'll get through it unscathed, this would be the day. Nope. I guess when all is said and done, this simply confirms the old adage that evil never sleeps. Despite the fact that there are tornadoes everywhere, possible hail, damaging winds, we still found a way to murder someone. I will leave to you to decide what that says about us. Finally, sadly, one of the ever-occurring incidents happened yet again in our state. In Laplace, Louisiana, 2 people, a couple, arrested after their 1-year-old child was found dead. Sharing with you from the CBS affiliate in Baton Rouge, WAFB, from their website. Officers responded to a call of a juvenile not breathing over the weekend. The child was found unresponsive in a bed, and first responders were unable to detect any vital signs. Officers and medical personnel that responded to this emergency call reported seeing bruising to her 1-year-old body, her face, head, and other parts of her anatomy. The child's mother, Kiara Dillon, and her boyfriend, Renard Robinson, both 23 years of age, were arrested. What is so very horrific about all of this, according to law enforcement, the boyfriend, 23-year-old Renard Robinson, admitted to beating the 1-year-old because she wouldn't stop crying. Quote, the child would not stop crying, so he took the child and slammed the child on the floor of the apartment complex multiple times. He also struck the child on the bedroom posts of the bed and then put the child back in the bed. You know, there are so many people in our state and in our world with so much love that are unable to have kids. There are so many that would love nothing more than to adopt a child and raise that child in a loving home. To do this to a 1-year-old child should tell us a lot about our society. Now listen, y'all, I get it. I understand that there are people among us that have no appreciation for the sanctity of life. We see it every single day. But when you're talking about a 1-year-old, y'all forgive me for saying it this way, but it's what comes to mind, and it's the God-honest truth. There's a special place in hell for people that would do something like this. There is a special place reserved for them that would do this. A 1-year-old girl. And if you keep track of these sorts of things, it is alarming how, with ever increasing frequency, we see these things happening. I've told you, God knows how many times, a former pastor of mine was fond of saying, you can tell a lot about a society, about how they treat their children and the elderly. And if you look at where our society is going in recent memory, the things we've seen perpetrated upon our children and our elderly, it should tell you pretty much everything you need to know. You know, as a conservative, I wholeheartedly understand and embrace the philosophy that you cannot legislate morality. You can't. You can pass all the laws in the world, but you can't make people obey the law. At the end of the day, the founding fathers understood full well that for this republic to thrive, it has to be populated by a group of people that have a moral backbone. Ours, y'all, is degenerating as we speak. Ours has been faltering for some time now. And sadly, we see more and more and more evidence of it every single day. Just an observation. First break of today's show. When we come back, I want to talk a little bit about priorities and your money. That's next when we continue the Thursday edition of the Clarence Bug Show, only on the Pelican. Stay close.
Hi, I'm Bobby Yarborough with Manda Fine Meats. Here at Manda, we know what the folks of South Louisiana love. They love great flavored smoked sausage, delicious deli meats, and specialty items like boudin and andouille sausage. Manda Fine Meats has been providing these products since 1947. We produce them right here in Baton Rouge, so you know you're always getting the freshest product at your local grocery store. Manda Fine Meats. Taste the fresh local flavor in everything we make. Make it Manda every time.
Hey everybody, I'm Kevin Gallagher. This is Roy Fletcher. We hope you'll join us for Fletch Nation, especially if you like talking politics.
Hey, come and join us. We'll give you the information, and then we'll give you the context. And by the way, we'll give you fun, too.
Lots of fun. We hit the local races, the state. We even look at what's going on all across America. And by the way, this space is available. If you'd like to talk about advertising, send your emails to Roy Fletcher at royfletcher.com and join us every week here on the Pelican for Fletch Nation.
I owed the IRS $10,000.
The IRS garnished my wages.
They put a lien on my house.
I'm self-employed and didn't report all my income. They claim I owe a lot more than I do.
The IRS is the most powerful collection agency in the world. They do not give up until you pay.
I couldn't sleep. We were being audited. I called Tax Solutions Now, and a great big weight was lifted off my shoulders.
I called Tax Solutions Now, and they got the IRS off my back.
Tax Solutions Now had my wage garnishment lifted in 48 hours.
Tax Solutions Now can get you help. Our agents know the rules, can stop the pain, and get you the best deal.
Tax Solutions Now saved my business.
I qualified for the Fresh Start program. I paid less than I owed.
We connect you with a team of former IRS agents and tax professionals who get the IRS off your back. Time is running out. Call Tax Solutions now.
Call 800-778-4345. 800-778-4345.
Make the most of every moment together in a 3-row Mazda CX-9. Find yours during the season of inspiration.
Make no payments for 90 days on a new CX-9 during the season of inspiration at Team Mazda.
Hi, gang. Clarence Bugs here, inviting you to come by Old School Barbecue, 10655 Coursey Boulevard, where we tape the show live every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday at 11 o'clock. Come by and feast on news, sports, current events, love of God and country, and lots of common sense, along with some of the best barbecue anywhere on the planet. 10655 Coursey Boulevard, Old School Barbecue, home of the Clarence Bugs Show.
Live and play on the fairway at Greystone Golf and Country Club, a serene, challenging golf destination located in Denham Springs. For tee times and membership opportunities, go to GreystoneCountryClub.com.
Welcome back to the Thursday edition of the Clarence Bugs Show. I, in recent memory, coined a phrase that more and more every single day, watching the Biden administration and those on the left, confirms that I was spot on with this. As I'm sure you have as well, unless, of course, you, for whatever reason, still worship at the altar of the mainstream media, have been more and more concerned about what's happening at our southern border. But you've heard me say on more than one occasion what these people are doing in your name. Not only are they doing things that are utterly despicable in your name, but they're also doing it, thank you, Alan, they're also doing it with your money. You know, it's one thing for a government to do something that most of us don't want, but because they were elected and put into power, they're of the position, well, you must be okay with it because you voted for us. As you well know, and for some reason, there's obviously some agenda at work here, the mainstream media is finally starting to pay attention to what's going on at our southern border. A couple of years too late, few million people too late, but they're finally starting to pay a little attention. The state of Arizona is being overrun, resources demolished, safety thrown out the window. So the state of Arizona said, you know what? If the federal government is not going to do its job, then we'll do it, because our state is suffering. So the state of Arizona recently started building their own wall. They took steel shipping containers at the poorest parts of the border, welded them all together, and topped them with razor wire to keep people out. Well, this week, the Biden-Harris administration sued, wait for it, the state of Arizona to get them to stop securing their own border. The Biden administration in suing the state of Arizona, said that the state is trespassing on federal land. You heard me right. Saying that the installation of this wall, get this, threatens public safety and impedes the ability of federal agencies and officials, including law enforcement personnel, from performing their official duties. Do you believe these people? First of all, the federal government is not doing its duty in securing the border. So, since you're not doing your duty, and the state decides to step up and protect itself, you're going to sue them? And they're also asking, wait for it, for monetary damages. You know, if it weren't so tragically sad, it might actually be funny. But ask the people in Arizona if it's funny or not. You know, those on the left have become masters of accusing certain folks of doing certain things, when in essence, they are the ones doing exactly what they accuse the other people of doing. And again, they're doing it in your name. Yeah, but Clarence, I didn't vote for them people. I voted for Democrats. But, well, where do you think they get the power from? Where do you think that comes from? And what a lot of you don't understand is when you vote that way, they use that as tacit approval to carry out all sorts of agendas. How many people do you think that voted Democrat are totally against our borders being overrun with millions of people? How many people do you think that voted Democrat that are okay with teaching first and second graders that there's 63 genders? How many people do you think that voted Democrat are okay with policies that hurt Democrats the most? You know, if history is anywhere near accurate, this will go down as the greatest brainwashing job of any one ethnic group of people in the history of the human species. All of these millions of people walking across the border, eating up resources, taking jobs, working a job, sending the money back to their home country. You do realize, do you not, who this is going to hurt the most? Here's a hint, black people. Here's a hint. And yet, the overwhelming majority of black people still vote Democrat. At some point, you have to ask yourself, what in God's name have these people done to my brain? That I can see, people will point out to me, dude, the group of people you voted for, they're putting policies in place that hurt you more than anybody else. And yet, you still vote for them. Well, at least Dominion says you voted for them. Wink, wink. Arguably, the greatest con job in the history of the human species. Speaking, by the way, of what they do in your name. Did you see this week where Joe Biden announced that in an effort to curtail climate change, global warming, we are pledging, America and the UK, to send $8 billion to South Africa to shut down coal-fired plants. $8 billion to freaking South Africa. That's your money. Did anybody ask you, are you okay with us taking $8 billion of your dollars and sending it halfway across the freaking planet to fight climate change? Oh, did I mention, by the way, in that $8 billion, $2 billion is to expand high-speed internet in Africa and Asia. Did anybody ask you, particularly those of you that right now can't afford internet in your own house? Did anybody ask you, do you mind if we take $2 billion of your dollars for internet in Africa? Listen, y'all, I have no problem helping people in other parts, particularly underprivileged parts of this world. I would not be a Christian if I felt that way. But at the end of the day, you ever heard the old saying, charity begins at home? $8 billion to shut down coal-fired power plants in South Africa. But not to worry, they'll come up with all sorts of great renewable energy to justify it. And it's all being done in your name. If you really want something that will reveal to you how out of control our federal government has become, your homework is look up what's called the National Debt Clock. There's a commercial I heard just the other day. So I did a little digging, a little research, and it's true. In the time, it says in this commercial, in the time it takes for you to hear this commercial, 30 seconds, our national debt will go up $1.5 million. That's $2 billion a day, $14 billion a week. Oh, and did I mention we're already over $31 trillion in debt? That's all. Now, I know a lot of y'all never sat in the classroom with anything to do with econ, anything to do, that's economics for those of y'all that didn't pay attention. Never took a class on statistics. But you don't have to be the brightest bulb in the chandelier, my friend, to figure out that this is not sustainable. It's not. I don't care how much money the federal government prints up and passes out, it is not sustainable. And at some point, we're going to have to answer for all of this. And when we do, English teachers, here we go, in 3, 2, 1. It ain't going to be pretty. Just saying. Bottom of the hour break. When we come back, speaking of the federal government, a guy that everybody knows this week said, and I quote, I have no idea why Governor DeSantis wants to look into the COVID vaccines. Wink, wink. We'll talk about that when we continue the Thursday edition of the Clarence Bug Show, only on the Pelican. Stay close.
Got termites? Get Premier Pest. PremierPestServices.com.
Right now, at both locations of Team Honda, the Dream Deal sales event is now even better. For a limited time, get 0% financing on a great selection of certified Hondas. The savings are yours at Team Honda on Seagan Lane in Baton Rouge and Team Honda of Acadiana on I-49, just south of Opelousas.
Hi, I'm Katie, Operation Manager here at Old School Barbecue. We're excited about all of the changes here at Old School, and we'd like to invite everyone to come out and enjoy some delicious barbecue at Old School prices. We feature brisket, chicken, ribs, sausage, and the Boss Hog pulled pork sandwich voted best deal in town. We also have live music Friday and Saturday from 7 to 10 p.m. 10655 Coursey Boulevard. We can't wait to see you.
Hello guys, it's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
Hi, I am Dr. Farrell Frugier Jr., and I am a general dentist at Frugier Family Dentistry. I was born and raised in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I went to Catholic High School, LSU, and LSU School of Dentistry in New Orleans, where I received my DDS degree in 1986. I always have and will continue to be committed to continuing my education, to invest in technology which makes the diagnosis and delivery of dentistry more thorough, more comfortable, and more aesthetically pleasing. In our practice, we are here to serve the patients. We want to improve their quality of life and to develop relationships with our patients. In dentistry, we have a chance to impact lives on a daily basis, not just by doing dentistry, but by getting to know them and being a part of their life. We also believe in giving back to our community. So every year, we give back to the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank, Toys for Tots, and Mary Bird Perkins Cancer Center. Please stop by and visit our office. We would love to take care of you and your family.
Caught spiders? Premier Pest Services.
Welcome back to the Thursday edition of the Clarence Bug Show. You know, one of the saddest parts of what we have been through as a country, and a planet for that matter, over the last couple of years with COVID, aside from all the deaths involved, all of the misinformation, disinformation, flip-flopping from the so-called health experts, is that we may never find out with any degree of certainty, wink, wink, where all of this came from. I will leave to you to decide whether or not this was a natural evolution in nature that just so happened to leap from bats to animals in a city where it just so happens there's a Chinese biological lab working on coronaviruses with some funding from the United States for gain of function research. I'll leave that to you to decide, just coincidence. As you well know, Dr. Anthony Fauci announced that he's going to retire this year. So this week, in an interview, he was asked, have you heard Governor Ron DeSantis in Florida says that he's going to ask the Supreme Court there to greenlight his plan to investigate the vaccines? His response, when they asked, why do you think he's doing this? Quote, I don't have a clue what he's asking for. We have a vaccine that unequivocally is highly effective, chuckle, chuckle, and, wait for it, safe. He doesn't have a clue why people would want to investigate the vaccines. Have you noticed recently the number of previously, until vaccinated, totally healthy people, particularly young people, that without any warning just drop dead? Have you been keeping an eye on this? Particularly young people and athletes. There was a study done not long ago, and they went back over 26 years and researched how many totally healthy athletes with no forewarning at all just suddenly drop dead. They crunched the numbers, and over a span of time of close to 30 years on the whole planet, we averaged about 60 people a year. After the vaccine rollout, you want to take a guess at a number how many athletes, totally healthy, have just dropped dead? Well, let's see. You said it was averaging about 60 a year, so maybe 100? It's over 10 times that. Over 1,000. Now, that's just that group. Do your homework, folks. Do a little research. In the UK and America, just those two, 76,789 deaths. Over 6 million people injured. But Anthony Fauci has no clue why people would want to investigate the vaccines. Here's a clue. Anybody that would manufacture something that they want to put in your body, but they want 70 years of secrecy and immunity from prosecution for using their product. You know, maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm old-fashioned this way. Maybe, you know, it's something in the water I drank growing up. But if it were me, and you came up with something that, according to them, saved the whole world from all this misery, death, and destruction, I'd be tooting my horn. Oh, Lord, y'all couldn't get me to shut up about how I developed it, what's in it, why it benefits you. But one of the very first things they did was go to the United States government and ask, can we keep this quiet for the next 70 years? We don't want them to know what's in it, and we certainly don't want them to know how many people have died from it. We don't even know what's in it. And this clown has no clue why someone would want to investigate it. Y'all can say what you want. Clarence, I see your head shining. That Reynolds wrap, that tinfoil you got wrapped around it, ain't the first time I've heard it, won't be the last time. Did you know that a full year before the word COVID-19 was ever mentioned in this country, a full year before anybody ever said the words COVID-19, Bill Gates applied for and was granted a patent for a, wait for it, COVID-19 vaccine. Look it up. Don't take my word for it. Look it up for yourself. A full year before anybody ever mentioned the word COVID-19, he applied for and was granted a patent by the United States Patent Office for a COVID-19 vaccine. You think maybe he knew something that you didn't? Again, don't take my word for it. Look it up. Look it up for yourself. And then we'll see about the Reynolds wrap and the tinfoil conspiracy theory. And after all this time, after all the psychological damage done to our children, all the death and destruction unleashed on the entire world, after all of this, we are nowhere near finding out where this came from. Now, I don't have enough time left in the day to get into all the conspiracy theories about where it came from. I will tell you this. Prior to the COVID outbreak, there was only one lab on the entire planet that had at its disposal every variant of COVID known to man. There was only one lab that had it all. And that laboratory was located, wait for it, in our country. Oh, and did I mention that laboratory at Fort Detrick in Maryland was shut down because of lax and improper containment measures. Dot, 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 dot. Connect them. Of course, now, where you get your information, in all likelihood, you never knew any of this. None of it. Why? You can figure that out. Maybe you can't figure out why you didn't know these things, but I think you can figure out probably on your own, to channel my inner Shakespeare, something is rotten in Denmark. Figure it out. Do your homework, guys and girls. Do your homework. Because like I have said for 40 plus years now, I'll never tell you what to think, but you can be damn sure I'll make you think. Look it up for yourself. Don't take my word for it. Look it up. And just maybe your eyes will have opened more than what they are now. Final break of today's show. When we come back, it never ends. It never ends. But if you think back to what a well-known person said not so very long ago, the Democrat Party is the party of division and hate. When we come back, yet another racism alert. 2 two things that you involve yourself with every single day. But I bet you didn't know it was racist. We'll talk about that when we continue the Thursday edition of the Clarence Bug Show, only on the Pelican. Stay close.
You can't smell it, but you can almost taste it. And whether it's for a family get-together or a game day feast, having Manda in the mix always sounds good. For 3 generations, their quality meats and original seasonings have made Manda a Louisiana legend and made their family sausage Louisiana's family sausage. Manda Fine Meats, the flavor says it all.
Every great story starts with the rush of thrilling gaming action. Handcrafted flavors, eager to please. Getaways for some well-deserved me time. And rewards worth bragging about. If it's a story worth telling, it starts at La Berge Baton Rouge. What's your story?
Treads & Care Tire Company announces its new location on Hooper Road in Central. Locally owned for 50 years, Treads & Care is known for quality automotive repair with top-notch customer service. Treads & Care offers the convenience of shuttle service and pickup and delivery of your vehicle. You can also enjoy the comfortable customer area, complete with workstations, high-speed internet, and a complimentary coffee bar.
I'd like to invite you to come out and see us at our new location in Central.
Treads & Care, the tires you need and the service you want.
Live and play on the fairway at Greystone Golf and Country Club, a serene, challenging golf destination located in Denham Springs. For tee times and membership opportunities, go to greystonecountryclub.com.
Tremonti's has meat, Tremonti's has seafood, Tremonti's has much more. Tailgating and home gating platters, huge wine and liquor selection, beer and all the spices you need, Chairman Reserve and Wagyu meats, ribeye rolls, shrimp rolls, kebabs, 20 flavors of sausage for the grill, daily lunch specials and game processing. On-site catering also available. Good meat ain't cheap and cheap meat ain't good. Visit Tremonti's.com.
Sometimes life is wonderful, and sometimes it's not. Cherish the good, but always be prepared for life's challenges. At Private Healthcare, we provide the peace of mind you deserve. With private healthcare, you'll get the coverage you want and healthcare you need. If your employer doesn't supply healthcare coverage and you don't qualify for Medicare or Medicaid, you need to give us a call right now. Private healthcare is private health insurance for ages 65 and under with medical, dental, vision, and even prescription coverage. When life comes at you unexpectedly, you need to be ready. And health insurance is your financial safety net. Health insurance has never been so easy and affordable. If you're looking for health coverage at the best price and your annual household income is $35,000 or more, call the number on the screen now and speak with a live healthcare consultant. Don't wait. Get the coverage you need now.
Welcome back for the final segment of the Thursday edition of the Clarence Bug Show. Quick question. How many of you watching right now paid attention and took seriously English classes while in school? Show of hands. That's what I thought. Do y'all realize that what you were doing at the time was supporting systemic racism? Did you know that? Marty said, doggone, I suspected it all along. Martha Schaefer is a teacher in, wait for it, California, the granola state. Clarence, why you call it the granola state? Well, if you take out the fruits and the flakes, all you have left are the nuts. California, the granola state. Y'all will get that later on. She came out on her, and of course, being the true lib that she is, has a TikTok account saying that grammar is racist. Quote, "We study linguistics and the rules that we actually use to communicate instead of the made-up rules that white supremacy created when we write papers and stuff." Sounds like a grammarian to me, papers and stuff. I am an educator, and I constantly worry if I'm the problem. What do I mean by that? Well, public education is an institution that upholds lots of problematic systems in our society, like white supremacy and misogyny and colonization, etc. Well, let's look at how we write essays, where we start with an introduction that includes a thesis, always cite your sources, use transition words like however and therefore. These are all made-up rules. They were created by Westerners in power. So let me get this straight. Because I chose to pay attention in English class. Because to this day, I try my absolute hardest to never end a sentence with a preposition. You just don't do it. You're breaking the rules of grammar. I understand tense, past tense, present tense, future tense. Because I chose to abide by the established rules, I'm supporting racism. You know, earlier in the show I mentioned, if you don't listen to what they say and simply watch what they do, Marty, what they do, you'll see more times than not what the left accuses others of doing is actually what they're doing. Projection. There you go, Marty. Well, bless their little old hearts. And you know, in South Louisiana, you can say anything you want about anybody as long as you either preface it or end it. There I go again, racist, using grammar. You can say anything you want about anybody as long as you include bless your little old heart. Maybe they don't realize, at least in the case of this woman, that what she is saying is actually bless them black folks' little old heart. Try as hard as they might, they can't understand or follow the rules of grammar. White people rules. There you go. You know, maybe I totally misunderstood in American history class the fact that we went through an entire civil rights era because people realized that, you know what? People that look like Clarence, if given the opportunity, they can be just as smart as anybody else. They realized people that look like Clarence are capable of working just as hard as anybody else. People that look like Clarence are able to engage in business, politics, anything else that anybody else can do. But as is usually the case with liberals, their solution is to give one group an advantage over another. You know what's interesting about this woman's rantings about grammar being racist? I am not a betting man, but $10 to a donut, I'll take the bet. She comes from a school system that has been run by Democrats / liberals / progressives forever. So maybe the problem is not the students, maybe it's the system that's teaching them. Maybe it's a convenient way of deflecting the blame from where it really belongs. Well, you know, we don't need to teach grammar and observe grammatical rules because, you know, it's how people talk. I would have more respect for this woman if she simply came out and said, I think black people are too dumb to learn grammar. I could respect that. That's your opinion. You're an American. You got a right to express it. But to sit there in my face and tell me, well, we need to cancel grammar because that's supporting white supremacy. What's the old saying? It's better to be thought a fool and keep one's mouth shut than it is to open it and remove all doubt. We thought you were stupid before you opened your mouth. Now we know guaranteed you're stupid. And the fact of the matter is, just imagine for a moment, if everybody decided to communicate in whatever way they saw fit, no rules, where would that lead us? Where would it leave us? You can say anything you want to say, any way you want to say it. Really? And at the end of the day, they still can't figure out why people are leaving public education in droves. Think about it. My time's up, y'all. Marty's telling me, you ain't got to go home, but you can't stay here. This day, you already know the drill, maybe more so than any other day in history. I give it to you. You know what? You're 100% correct. America, we're not perfect. But for this old boy's money, it's the best there is, and God knows there's no place else on his green earth that I'd rather be. You know the good Lord loves you, and I hope you know that I do too. Then again, ain't a doggone thing you can do about either one. We'll see you soon. God bless.